We move on to the second match. Dang it! Yeah, I'm speaking in third person every time I'm talking about the Battle Pass. Because I did say that I'm going to refer to all of the characters as their names in the Battle Pass. Like the person, like the Matt Battle Pass, I don't know that person as Matt. I know them as their Discord username. I wouldn't call August Jeff because I don't even have a girlfriend. It wasn't made by a girlfriend. It wasn't even made by a female. But that was my best friend playing a joke on me, calling the character August Jeff, so now I have to say August Jeff every time. Alright, Main Street Coliseum. We're going there again for the third time this round and for the fourth time in the tournament. Because that's just what the randomizer decided. Main Street Coliseum, Group C, Matt versus Darrad. Both of them won in round 1. Matt beating Claudia. Darrad beating GameScorp. The winner of this match is very likely to move on to the next round. And what did I say? If Matt wins, Claudia is knocked out of the group. Hey Darrad, you just joined right in time. It's your match. See if Matt's legendary team can win again. It's not like Darrad has a weak team. Some Pokemon with very high base stats. 2 legendaries included in Giratina and Lugia. There's 2 steel types in Bronzing and Lucario with many resistances. And there's 3 ghosts that could potentially be hit by a lot of normal and fighting type moves. So we might have a repeat of 2 days ago when I did the first stream, where we see a lot of "Don't hit the ghosts." Let's find out. Matt versus Darrad. Let's begin. Dialga and Lugia versus Gengar and Giratina.
Wow, giant Pokemon sure do make this Coliseum look tiny. The battle begins.
Oh, I forgot to start the timer. Started it now. Giratina's pressure was suppressed, so that doesn't matter whatsoever. Origin Form Giratina would have Levitate, but that's not in Battle Revolution, because Battle Revolution was based on Diamond and Pearl. So that's why you couldn't choose Origin Form Giratina. And the reason you couldn't choose any of Arceus' forms is because that required an item to be held. And I wanted everything to hold a Leopard Berry. Lock on! Giratina making sure its next move hits. Watch the next move be Constrict. Or Zap Cannon. I would love to see Sheer Cold as well. I think we've seen 2 1-KO moves, I want to say. One of them hit. I think it was Fissure, somewhere early in round 1. Gengar with Flash, making Lugia less accurate.
Its accuracy fell.
I would like to see Matt versus Aqua at some point, because they're the 2 with the fully legendary team. Silver with Aqua too. Not quite stab, but Lugia is one of those Pokemon that, if third typings would be a thing, Lugia would probably be Water type. Alright, Rock Throw from Dialga. Yeah, that is a shiny Gengar. Normally, shiny Gengar is just a different kind of blue. But in Battle Revolution, they were like, oh, it's black. Sing. Not quite what I had in mind, like Zap Cannon or Sheer Cold, but Sing hits. I'm pretty sure the accuracy from Lock On does help Sing skip the accuracy check, so Silver's asleep. Gengar does look cool like this.
Lugia won't wake up. The
Substitute for Gengar. That can actually work out really well. If a big move comes in, you won't be hit by it. And some small moves won't really damage you. Super effective crit from Night Slash. Half of the defensive Giratina's HP is gone. Metronome. What a surprise. Zen Headbutt. That one's resisted. So not that much damage, actually.
The air in the Coliseum is tense.
Gengar pretty weak. But it is a substitute up. Silver's asleep. No one really has an advantage, I would say. Let's see who gets the first kill. Anyone in the chat wanna guess who is the first kill? Darrad, just to let you know, I'll be rooting for your team here. That is nice. In a way, I could see why you would want to root for Darrad, or at least against Matt, because Matt has the legendary team, and purely based on base stats, that might be good. Then again, Darrad has 3 ghosts and 2 steals, so just based on the types of the Pokemon, that's really good. Alright, you're expecting Giratina to be the first one to go down. Let's find out. There's a flamethrower, not that much damage. Might be a burn. Let's see. Not quite. Bit of residual damage on Dialga. Here comes Gengar. Rest after substitute is back to full health. Well done, Gengar. Nice combination. Gust from Lugia. Giratina rests as well. Just double rest on that side. What? They were the 2 that were most damaged. So that makes very much sense. They both just used rest. Hydro Cannon, but there was a substitute, so Gengar's still at full health. Huh. That was an interesting combination. Just double rest because they were both weak. It's not just, hey, I just get hit by a 20 damaged water gun. Let's rest. No, just, okay, they both won't attack for 2 turns, but they're at full health. Also, Dialga will take a little bit more residual damage. Ooh, Brave Bird though from Lugia. Stab. But it's a defensive Pokemon against a defensive Pokemon, so not as much damage as you may expect from a Brave Bird that's Stab. Bit of recoil on Silver. Dialga can't move because he used Hydro Cannon last turn. Bit more damage from Whirlpool.
The battle's outcome is still up in the air. Who will reach for victory first?
We're about 6.5 minutes into the battle and we don't have a KO yet. Watch us get like 3 explosions or earthquakes or things like that in a row, or mementos or lunar dance, and then this ends up being the quickest fight out of all of them anyway. Thunder Wave doesn't work, they're still asleep.
Not much has happened. Who will change things up?
Lugia moving first. Even before Gengar? What? Was Gengar slowed down? Eruption. Gengar avoids it. Wait, what? Sorry, chat, help me with this, because I feel like I'm looking at so many things that I forgot. How is Gengar slower than Lugia? Did Lugia get a speed increase? Also, how did that eruption miss? Was there a double team or a smoke screen? No, it was Flash. There was Flash was used on Lugia, that's why it missed. Sleep doesn't change speed. I'll check the base stats of them, but I'm pretty sure that Lugia isn't as quick as Gengar. Gengar's base speed is 110. Lugia... Oh! Lugia's faster than I thought. It just has 90 on attack and special attack. It also has 110. Okay, it is a speed tie. I just thought that Gengar would be easily faster than Lugia, but Lugia's also actually pretty fast. It's just on attack, its attacking stats are the only ones that aren't at 100. It's a speed time. Lugia again with Lick. That's super effective. Will it paralyze? Nope. Gengar looks really cool at black as a black Gengar like that. Spiderweb. Oh, Dialga and Lugia can't switch now, or at least Dialga can't. Oh no. Not that we're going to manually switch anyway, so there's some really useless moves here. As useless as Splash. Spite! Lowering the power points of Metronome. There's still a Leopard Berry around, so it's unlikely to do much. Unless the Leopard Berry is gotten rid of by, like, Pluck. Or Fling.
It's pouring rain in the Coliseum.
It's raining. Let's see if that affects anything in terms of damage. A water move, a fire move, a solar beam, or recover.
Who will reach for victory first?
Would you believe if you just looked at this screen in terms of the HP, that we're over 9 minutes into the fight already? It's 5 turns of rain. Because they're not holding the weather rocks.
It hit 2 Pokemon at once.
Or are you predicting that many moves that are affected by rain within the rain period? Reflect, nice move by Lugia. So physical moves will deal only half damage to them for 5 turns. Like that super effective Thunderfang, which is basically as if it's normal effective now. Can't flinch Lugia because Lugia's already moved, but it can paralyze it. No move affected by rain just yet. Bug Buzz, not either. I think Bug Buzz is 4 times resist. I think Ghost versus Bug as well. I know Poison does.
It's pouring rain in the Coliseum.
So no moves affected by the rain just yet.
Back to battle.
And Lugia will now move last. Because it's only at a quarter of its speed. I think it's 1/3 of the speed, starting Gen 6. That are affected. Thunder's 100% accurate in this condition. Yeah, I'm gonna count Thunder. Even though it might have hit without, it is affected by. So I would also say Morning Sun, even if the Pokemon would still go to full health because it was already near full health. Toxic Spike's actually a really good move in Metronome battles. Assuming it's not gotten rid of on the field, but does Darrad's team have a poison type? It has Gengar, but Gengar has Levitate, so that one doesn't apply. So only if Gengar switched out, then Gravity activates, and then Gengar comes back in, can they get rid of it. That poison gives poison to everything that's sent in. So that can be very bad. Yeah, as I was going to say, even if, let's say, a Pokemon only has 2 damage, and Morning Sun comes in, which would have healed it no matter the rain or not, that is a move that is affected by weather. I don't think we've had any yet. Hydro Pump, 1. It missed, but it's a move that is affected by rain, would it have worked? So that's 1. Unless I missed something last turn. Shadow Claw. Would have been nice on Lugia, that would have been the takeout, but not quite. Not on Dialga. Actually resisted. Also Reflect lowers the damage. Heal Block. Just making sure that they don't use Rest again. At least for a couple of turns. I think that's... Rain Dance was set up. 2 or 3 turns of Rain we had already, because we had a full turn of 4 after it was set up. We only have had 1 move that was affected by rain so far. We're going to see more. Growth, not affected by it. Sun affects growth, rain does not. But just Sun doubles the stat gains. And there goes Dialga. Giratina wasn't the first one to be taken out. Dialga took itself out. 6-5 lead for Darrad. But with the typings, with the high stat Pokemon that both of these have, this can go either way. Fake Tears. Lowers the special defense of Lugia. Really, it could get hit by so many moves, especially special moves now with Reflect Up and being effective by Fake Tears. It can be taken out by a lot. U-turn. But missed. Rain stopped, so we only had 1 move that was affected by rain unless I missed something. And that move even missed. That's Silver wanting to get out of at least the special defense drop with that U-turn. Deal a bit of damage. Both would have resisted it, but still. Darrad with a slight advantage right now. Here comes Giratina. On Matt's side. Giratina versus Giratina. The mirror match. There's a couple of teams with the similar Pokemon, not all in the same group. Like it was me and Kimono and myself, both of us had a Flareon. There's multiple teams with Lucarios. Oh, Bug Bite, so that means Leopard Berry will be eaten. 10 power points healed on the Metronome for the Gengar. And would the Giratina on the other side run out of Metronomes, it doesn't have its Leopard Berry to heal the power points. Hayes getting rid of the stat changes that were just put on the Lugia by Giratina. You can't decide, can you? Signal Beam. Another bug move on Gengar. And that U-turn might have targeted Gengar too. It's better than a normal move on the Ghost. Lugia really just wants to get out of the fight. U-turn, teleport. Teleport doesn't work in training battles. I do like that in Pokemon Infinite Fusion that I play on stream right now pretty regularly. I actually played it yesterday. I'll probably play it again either tomorrow or on Monday. Oh yeah, the Memento drawbacks are erased too. You're very right. Giratina now has normal power again. Yeah. But on Pokemon Infinite Fusion, which I play regularly, which is very fun, so I recommend that if you follow me on Twitch, just or pay attention just to in my Discord servers. I post every time I stream. Also my socials, but Pokemon Infinite Fusion is very fun to play, and I stream it pretty regularly these days. And teleports is actually usable in chain battles. In wild battles, it's still just teleport and it ends the battle. In training battles, it's not that useful, but it's a 2-turn 50 base power move. It's sort of like Solar Beam, but then 50 power and Psychic, to give it some kind of use in training battles. One of the few moves that was changed for that game. You're looking good, Darrad. 2 outs on the opponent's side already. That rest from Gengar and Giratina, that double rest, was so amazing, because otherwise they would have both been down at this point. They also now have more HP than they both had before that turn of rest. In addition, if they would have both been taken out at this point because they never used rest, the 2 next Pokemon would have already been poisoned and have taken poison damage. So both those rests were huge. Bad poison on the Giratina. Darrad looking good here. Everything can change in a match like this, but this is looking good. Watch the 10% boost actually happen. Haven't seen. Yeah, it actually does. We haven't seen it yet. The Sturman, I was about to say that Silverwind Ancient Power, Ominous Wind. Every boost, it got rid of the attack drops from Memento from Dialga, making Dialga's sacrifice in vain, then boosts all of its own stats. Watch this also be a bad poison though. No, this one doesn't. That's... Darrad's taken over. Just don't hit the Ho-Oh. Heal block wore off. They can use rest again. They were very kind and stayed away from Morning Sun and rest and recover. Either hit Ho-Oh super hard, or don't hit Ho-Oh. Because Bide will murder you. Not sure if Bide has... the unleashing of Bide has priority. I think starting up Bide, I'm not sure it has priority, but unleashing it does. Attack order, that's 4 times resisted, so I guess if you want to hit Ho-Oh, hit it with things like that, so it's not too strong. Gengar, Fury Cutter. Gengar's like, oh, I got hit by a couple of bug moves that were 4 times resisted. Let's hit you with bug moves that are 4 times resisted. Restoring energy didn't go first, so I assume that the priority on Bite doesn't happen here. Another teleport. See, Bite gets priority. Generation 4. During its entire duration, so before any other moves that don't have increased priority. If Bite is called through another move, such as Metronome, it will have +0 priority on its subsequent turns. Interesting. So normally, in this generation, Bide would actually go first. But if I understand correctly, then even the unleashing of Bide, because it was called by a different move, will be after the rest. Heal block is gone, they can use healing moves again. Leopard Berry increases the power points. Gengar comes. Giratina just needs to survive this and the next turn and they heal again. And remember, Giratina has speed boosts, has attack boosts, but also has defense boosts. Take this, 2 4-time resisted moves. Double damage goes back, maybe a quarter of its health. Yeah, if Giratina survives this, that's even more huge than it was before. Depending on how long that Giratina from Darrad keeps up its thing, that Giratina might be one of the potential highlights. Just the double rest. He offered the heal block doing Wish again, the Silver Wind boost, the getting rid of the Memento thing. That Giratina, okay, Fury Attack, like it's done some things that are useless. Wait, why did Fury Cutter not affect it? Fury Cutter's bug, or was it Fury Swipes? Must have been Fury Swipes. Or False Swipe. Yeah, that Giratina is doing great. Fury Attack, okay, yeah, that doesn't affect it. Hidden Power, that's dark. But it's not a critical hit. A critical hit would have been around a KO. But it wasn't a KO, so Giratina survives it, so if it survives this one... Eruption resists it with boosted special defense. Yeah, that's nothing. Giratina heals from Wish. Whoopee! Oh, over 3/4 of its health again. Meanwhile, that other Giratina is losing all of its health and is going to die next. Or is going to faint next turn. So, is this going to be another example of how a team full of legendaries could just very well lose? Not going to let the Giratina attack this turn. Would have gone down at the end of the turn, so if I had the choice, I probably would have attacked the Ho-Oh, taking the risk of the Giratina doing one cool thing, but the Giratina would have gone down by itself. Because of the toxic poison. Gengar with Ember. Still only very little damage on that Ho-Oh. What's the Ho-Oh going to do back, though? Fury Cutter. What's with the last round it was normal moves on ghosts. This round it's just it's bug moves on things that 4 times resisted. Both on the Gengar and on the Ho-Oh. Also, you know what? I just realized this another time now. Of why Giratina and Gengar surviving is so huge. Remember, toxic spikes on the other side. The moment something new is sent in, that thing's on a timer of 1/8 damage. So that's 8 to potentially 9 turns depending on their health if they're not hit. Toxic spikes are very good early on, and they were placed really early on. But if the Pokemon aren't taken out, they're not going to get anywhere. These are the only 2 Pokemon that aren't poisoned. Power Whip, that is powerful. It missed though, it has an 85% chance to connect. And it didn't connect. Air Cutter, bits of damage.
It hit 2 Pokemon at once.
Acid Armor to increase its defense.
Defense rose.
Confuse Ray. Okay, trying to stop Giratina's boosted stats that way. But making it hit itself and not Suicune and Ho-Oh makes sense. I think Darrad's team, the Gengar and the Giratina, want to try and get for that 4-0 victory that Akko had earlier today. And tie it at least, or even beat it. Because we've already seen a Power Trick. Switches attack and defense. Does that include boosts? I'm not sure. They have 1 boost both anyway, so physically Giratina is slightly more offensive than defensive now. Also, Giratina and Gengar are definitely moving first now. I think they were already. Giratina with the speed boost, and Gengar just by being Gengar. Wait, is Lugia faster than Ho-Oh then? Ho-Oh with Moonlight. Okay. Heals back up all the damage that was dealt by weak moves. One of them that it didn't actually resist, that being Icy Wind. Safeguard. Okay, so no poison for that team for a little bit. I wonder what would happen if Safeguard would be active and then a Pokemon sent into a field with Toxic Spikes. Would it be poison then? I don't think so. It wouldn't get rid of the Toxic Spikes. Oh, what would be clutch if Rapid Spin or Defog would happen right now? Rapid Spin on Darrad's side or Defog on both.
Its accuracy fell.
Shadow Claw. That's Stab. It's physical move. Gengar's not that great at it, but it's something. But didn't deal that much damage. Barrier, more defense for Ho-Oh. Doesn't want to take that physical damage. And Shadow Claw could have hit it with a critical hit, higher chance than normal. That didn't happen to Suicune with Cross Shell, but they're both Ghosts, Suicune. Doesn't work. Giratina already out of confusion. Wasn't in there for long. Try attack. Nice move. And that's a special move, so it goes around the increased physical defense gains off of Rainbow. 30% chance for status ailments. Doesn't work. Plus, I think it's at least +4 at it. That's why I would love to actually check.
It's being ganged up on.
I know he used Barrier. I think he used something like Iron Defense like 2 or 3 turns before it. I don't remember everything because so much happens and I'm also focusing on commentary. It definitely has huge defense. Acid Armor, okay. We get to they're trying to hit ghosts with things that they resist point now. Acid Armor and Barrier are +2. So that's 4. There were no +3 increases in this generation. Some moves were increased, like Tail Glow in later generations, but in Generation 4 there were no +3 moves. Not a single one, only Belly Drum, which was a +6. Actually, it was a maximum, so it went to +6, which effectively could be a +12 if you were at -6. Acid Armor and Barrier +2 stages. So Ho-Oh is now a triple defense. Ooh, that could be a strong move. If it's not on Ho-Oh, because Ho-Oh would just be like, I have defense boosts. Although it might still deal a bit more damage than that flamethrower.
Ho-Oh still can't pull off a move. Neither corner has made a decisive attack yet. Are they playing?
Sky Attack and Suicune. Suicune has pretty nice defenses, has most of its HP. Giratina does have a bit more attack than it has physical defense now, thanks to using Power Trick earlier on. And it has that attack boost. The Silver Wind. Yeah, I didn't think it would be enough. But it is still major damage. And that on a 6-3 lead for Darrad. Aurora Beam, keep using special attacks on that. Uh-oh. Hagare no Tsubasa! The first KO on Darrad's side, and this is where the fight may just really change. Still, it'll be an advantage Darrad for quite a long time. Remember how I said this might be the change? Suicune now has the boost. Also, actually, remember how I said that a lot of Darrad's Pokemon would be poisoned? the only one that will actually get poisoned is Sableye. Because Lugia flies, Lucario is steel, Bronzong is levitating and is steel. Sableye is the only one that's going to get poisoned, so Toxic Spikes isn't actually all that effective. But Suicune now has the boosts that Giratina used to have. So everyone target Suicune. That's what Darrad probably would want, because that one's dangerous. And adding to that boost, an evasion boost. Remember how I said this would change the fight? Gengar went down, Suicune took Giratina's boots and became more evasive. Lunar Dance by Lucario. 4-3. This is Metronome for you people. Huge lead, major advantage Darrad. Now it's 4-3 and this might just become a 3-3 very soon. Oh, Toxic Spikes goes before the Lunar Dance, so that does actually get rid of the poison. Interesting. The Lunar Dance has one positive thing. No one will actually get poisoned from the Toxic Spikes. Or will actually take damage from it. The only way someone will be damaged by it now is if gravity is in effect when Lugia is sent in, or if Giratina is sent out by something like Whirlwind or Roar and comes back in later. It is something that I still want to know, like the in-between turns things. Confusion, not confusion, burn doing damage. Weather showing and dealing damage. Leftovers healing. Slow starts running out. So many things happen in between turns, but I want to know the priority bracket. What happens before what? What is listed before what? A lot of these things aren't important, but for example, hail damage and leftovers, which one goes first? That might be important in how a Pokemon survives. A lot of the others don't matter, but what I would really absolutely love to see is a document listing everything that can happen in between turns and the order in which they happen. +2 attack for Giratina. Was I not paying attention? What happened? Because I was talking about something else. Did he use Swords Dance? It did use Swords Dance. Oh, that's on a go, so that's half of the max HP of the opponent. Suicune took itself out. Because it would have been half of the damage it would have dealt if it just regularly missed, but if it's due to immunity, that's half the max HP of the target in this generation. So that's the huge boost at Suicune gone. Major damage on Sableye though. Yeah, struggle is physical, so... Okay, that's a max power Giratina now. So Giratina, when you use Rest, you've used Rest, you've used Wish. When you use Recover now? Because this Giratina doesn't want to die, but it did just use Belly Drum. Meanwhile, 4-2 lead, and Rainbow is already at half HP. Defense Deoxys. Oh wait, it has no move left. Didn't it already eat its Leopard Berry? What? Huh? Okay, it has been on the field for a long time. Was the Leopard Berry already used? It can't have used 26 of them yet. Was there a Spite? Was there a Fling? I know I've been talking about a lot of things this fight. How did it lose that many? It used Rest, so that skipped 2 turns. Well, now it has a +6 struggle now. It's going to take itself out in 1 hit. Also, Karate Chop doesn't work on Ghost. But who is it going to hit? is it going to hit Deoxys, who is just really defensive, or Ho-Oh, which is now just really defensive? Also, that doesn't work on Ghosts. Is going to hit the Deoxys. +6 struggle. Defense Deoxys with a struggle for half damage. Okay, this Giratina in this fight is a highlight on its own. Highlight on its own. You can make a separate video about just why this Giratina was so good. It did some things that weren't useful, like the sand attack, some other things. That's 4-time resisted. Yeah, that's 2 Pokemon at half health on Matt's side. And still 2 Pokemon at full health on Darrad's side and Sableye on half. Looking good, but anything can change. I was about to say Explosion can happen, but Explosion is totally going to kill one side and not the other. Although Rainbow might actually, with its defense boost, survive an Explosion if it's by a Pokemon not that high special attack, physical attack stat. Then again, yeah, that'd probably go down. Because Lucario resisted an Explosion by Tyranitar and it still went down. And that was a Tyranitar being half health back in Aoki's match. So, yeah, an Explosion would probably take them out and Sableye would just live. So if any Explosion would happen by any of these 4 Pokemon, the win is for Darrad. Dragon Dance, improved attack and speed. Trying to get through the defenses that the others have. Fissure. But it doesn't work because it has Levitate. Well, there's something I'm thinking about the potential next tournament. I realize we're just in round 2. We still have to do round 3 and then the entire single elimination. But I'm already thinking about a potential next Metronome tournament. A potential next one. The maximum amount of participants will depend on the amount of battle passes I can put on the game. So maybe I will keep it at 16 max. Just so I can keep some of the other main battle passes I use as well. Although I guess I could make it, let's say, 20 and then make 4 groups of 5 and then have the rest be in a similar format. But what I'm thinking of is to not let everyone choose all their own Pokemon, because then there's the big difference in, let's say, one will use like Zigzagoon and Pikachu Cyndaquil, and the other one's like we have 6 legendary dragons, purely on the team choice being a higher chance to win. Which is fine, and I let that happen for here, and I should have really expected those big differences happening. But what I'm thinking of for next time is I'm going to decide on a base stat total that the entire team can have altogether. I'll randomize 3 Pokemon for the players. Not tell that player, let's say, Scorpio, you register for the tournament. I randomize 3 Pokemon for you, and I don't tell you what they are. I just tell you that those 3 Pokemon together are of a certain, what their base stat total is, which gives you a certain total of remaining base stat total. Let's say your base stat total is allowed to be 1400, all Pokemon together, and you have 750 remaining after your first 3 Pokemon. That means the average should be 250 out of your 3 Pokemon. Then you can say have a bigger Pokemon and have 2 really small Pokemon, or a 3 average Pokemon, and then those 3 are up to you without knowing the rest of your team. But that way, one, it's a bit of more of a random team that people have, and it'll be more balanced for everyone. To have it even more based on randomness and not just the types and just the base stats that people chose for their Pokemon. Magma Storm. That's Heatran's move. I've never heard that said. Rain cuts its effectiveness. Maybe they only say that with announced fire moves, like Magma Storm and Flamethrower. Or the Flamethrower, I think it's... No, that can also be when it doesn't KO. I don't think I've ever heard that. Sableye down. 2-2. Bronzong. It's already raining. This might be another close one. This is another one of those matches like we've seen many of before, where one side looks to have a big advantage early on, and then it becomes very close at the end. If there's an explosion now, we might see another tie. Alright, who's gonna explode? Dynamic punch that hits. Won't deal much damage, but it's confusion on Ho-Oh. If Ho-Oh hits itself in confusion, it won't deal much damage because of its defense increases, but it hits itself for some damage, and it doesn't attack others. Which most likely is a good thing. Thrash, this time the endgame Thrash does connect, unlike the Absol from Rents earlier on in this round. Zap kind of connects off Dynamic Punch, and Zap kind of connecting in the same turn. That's paralysis on Bronzong. Bronzong, remember, does have boosted attack from Dragon Dance, but decides to go with Reflect, increasing the defenses on their already defensive Pokemon. Everyone's defensive. Lugia's a generally pretty bulky Pokemon. Bronzong has good defenses. Ho-Oh has +4 defenses due to Acid, Armor, and Barrier. And Deoxys Defense is the defensive form of Deoxys. Is it going to be a major move that's going to change things? Smokescreen on Ho-Oh.
Its accuracy fell.
Thrash continues, but that's not much damage on a Steel type. Doesn't get confused at Deoxys, so that'll be another turn of Thrash, which isn't too bad for Darrad, because that doesn't deal that much damage, and it's always on the Bronzong. Growl doesn't deal damage to Darrad, so it's not that bad. Metronome's going to be physical move. It's Poison Gas, which it deals 1/8 of their health as damage every turn. That's not actually a bad move. They might take themselves out in the next turn, yeah. It's 1/8 of their health, and 12 is already under 10%. So if no damage is dealt to ET, and they don't heal, Poison takes them out. They want to see rest on Deoxys. Cuts, just little bits of damage on Ho-Oh. That makes sense, just attack Ho-Oh while Deoxys is going to die to Poison. And Deoxys is using Thrasher, they can't even use Rest. They have no way of healing it except Presence being used on them and then the 20% chance of healing. Deoxys is gone. Unless Ho-Oh explodes. No Dragon Breath. Trying to paralyze the Lugia as well, but Lugia's at high health. Bronzong, you're actually going to use a physical move now to give you that attack boost. That's a physical move, but it's again 4 times resisted. That Ho has been attacked by 2 attack orders at this point, 4 bug moves in total. Deoxys down. We're at the 2v1 scenario, and it's Darrad that has the lead. But a Memento, a Lunar Dance could change a lot, an Explosion would end the game and make it a tie. Never count anyone out, especially if it's a true 2v1 scenario and there's no Pokemon in the back. Because otherwise an Explosion wouldn't end the game and one of them would win. Embargo! If Lugia would now be taken out before its next move, which is unlikely. Oh wait, no, that's not Embargo, that's completely different move. I was thinking of Grudge. Can't use the Leper Berry. How close is Ho-Oh to running out of power points? I think it already ate the Leper Berry. And didn't it? I think it already ate the Leper Berry. Yeah, it did. So that wasn't actually effective. We have ourselves a Worry Seed, which doesn't do anything. That's actually good for Ho-Oh, I guess, because now it can't sleep instead of having pressure, which doesn't do anything in this tournament. Takedown doesn't connect. Bonzong. Actually, a special move might still be better considering how his major defense is. Flame was going to be resisted too, but it's a bit of damage, and every bit of damage counts. Is better than Splash or Worry Seed. Reflect worn off. As long as Ho only gets hit by weak moves or not by moves at all, he might stand a chance. Try and take out Lugia. Bronzong's paralyzed, will move last. 25% chance on that move. That's special, and it's 4 times super effective. There we go. Game done. Darrad takes it 2-0. Giratina and Gengar early on did a lot of the work. Then the moment Gengar was taken out, didn't go well for a while. Suicune took over with some boost. Lucario immediately took itself out. But Gengar and Giratina, especially Giratina, did amazing, amazing work. And that helped Darrad secure the win. Congratulations.